Melissa. All right, the former Spokane NAACP president, Rachel Dolezal, is still speaking out, and she is not holding back. Dolezal appeared on NBC News last night, claiming she does not know who her parents are. Take a listen.
I know who raised me. I haven't had a DNA test. There's been no biological proof that Larry and Ruthann are my biological parents.
You doubt whether they're your parents?
I'm just saying I can't prove that.
There's a birth certificate that has your name on it and their names on it. Why would you doubt something so fundamental?
I'm not necessarily saying that I can prove they're not, but I don't know that I can actually prove they are.
I think your parents might be.
Well, I don't know.
I want to bring in entertainment editor at BET.com who joined us yesterday, Clay Kane. Hello to you, Clay. My first question is, having watched that, having listened to that, what are your thoughts on what you just heard?
You know, one thing that I think that we've seen with Rachel is that this is beyond her having an affinity or a love or feeling of black culture, or feeling like she is a black woman inside. She has a fetish of black culture. That's really what it is. And seeing right there is a fact in front of her. These are your biological parents. And she still wants to fight that and kind of defend what I say is a fantasy world. It's a bit disturbing. In another interview, she says, you know, I've gone there with blackness. And I'm like, what is this, the adventures of Rachel the Negro? Like, it just sounds really deeply disturbing. And I wonder where she's going to go from here.
Is delusional a fair characterization?
Delusional, absolutely. I mean, when you have facts right in front of you, what do you do? I mean, I was disturbed each and every part of her press tour that she went on. And once again, it's this fetish of culture. And, you know, I think of someone like, what if Halle Berry tried to say she was white? What if President Barack Obama tried to say, I'm white? What if Alicia Keys tried to say she was white? These are all black people who were raised by white women.
You know, yeah, Clay, Rachel insinuated that there may have been some issue with her birth certificate. We actually looked into that because there was a delay, but it is quite normal for one to be born and then to get a birth certificate issued just a couple of weeks later, which is what Rachel was referring to in that interview with Savannah Guthrie. I want to listen to a little bit more about Rachel talking about what it was like being a black woman to a certain extent. Take a listen.
I definitely am not white. Nothing about being white describes who I am. So, you know, what's the word for it? You know, I mean, the closest thing that I can come to is if you're black or white, I'm black. I'm more black than I am white.
Clay, I listened to this part and I thought, what does that even mean? If she's trying to blur color lines, which to a certain extent, it seems as if that's what she's trying to do, she's not doing a very good job at it.
No, she's not. And listen, mark my words. Mark this interview right here. I guarantee you in less than 5 years, Rachel will be white again. We'll see her blonde, straight hair again. We'll see all this again. This is someone, there's been this term being used a lot recently called white privilege, right? The kind of privilege you have if you are part of the majority that has power. And only a woman like this could bounce between black with a brown crayon, white when she's at Howard University, then at the NAACP, she's like super black, you know, from her braids and her afro weave and her spray tan from Mystic Tan or wherever she was. I mean, she is this hyper representation of blackness. And the truth is, she's saying, I'm not white. You know, being black is not a monolith. I don't know what she thinks the experience of blackness is, but considering how, quote unquote, educated she is, she would know the black experience is very diverse. What is your experience as a black woman, Rachel? Exactly what is it? 10 years makes you black? Okay, boo.
Clay, I want to go back to what you said about her within 5 years going back to being white. You know, I'm certainly not coming to Rachel's defense, but I don't think anyone can refute that she did make positive contributions to the African-American community in the Spokane area. Are you suggesting that this is sort of a hobby and she's going to get over it?
You know, all this commentary about her work in the African-American community, she wasn't Angela Davis. I mean, she wasn't Mark Lamont Hill. I mean, that's great. She did some activism work. That's fine. But you know what? One of the biggest rules, the biggest aspects of social justice and activism, you know what it is? Integrity. And she has lost her integrity. That is a big angle of social justice, and she doesn't have that.
Clay, I want to hear a little bit more from Rachel because it is sort of a very intense interview. In this next piece of sound, she actually gets a little choked up. Let's take a listen.
Finally had a chance to read Caitlyn Jenner's piece, you know, in the magazine, and really just, and I cried. I cried because I resonated with some of the themes of isolation, of being misunderstood, especially in this.
You know, even seeing her get choked up, Clay, to a certain extent, is it hard to feel sorry for her because she has misled people for so long?
It is hard to feel sorry for her. And, you know, bringing up Caitlyn Jenner, you know, we were talking about this yesterday as far as quote-unquote passing. I don't like the term passing when it comes to trans folks, but as far as this conversation, you know why trans folks pass? Because they don't want to walk down the street and get beat up and killed like Alon Nettles or London Chanel or so many other trans folks that we have lost. Rachel, quote-unquote, passing or trying to be black is not a matter of life and death, right? So to pull from Caitlyn Jenner, isolation, I mean, we all go through that on an individual basis, but it is so hard to feel for her when you hear about she lived in South Africa. No, she didn't. She you know, but bow and arrows, no. Teepees, no.
At the core, it's really about the lying and the misleading people. Yeah.